The Crosstown Series moves to the south side, and the Northsiders need a sweep to keep possession of the cup. Well, the 2014 Crosstown Cup is halfway over, and the Cubs still looking for their first win after dropping 2 at Wrigley Field. We move to the south side here at U.S. Cellular Field. Hi again, everyone. Along with Jim DeShays, I'm Len Casper. Technically a road game, even though we're in Chicago, 9 miles south of where we just played last night. Cubs just scored 2 runs in the 2 games at Wrigley, wasting good starting pitching.
Boy, did they ever. The starting pitching for the first 2 games over there at Wrigley was outstanding. Jeff Samardzija has been good every time he's gone out so far this year. He was again on Monday. 9 innings, 3 hits, gave up a run. It was unearned. Still not good enough as the White Sox made some noise against the bullpen. They did again last night. Edwin Jackson, probably his best start of the year, one of the best he's had in a Cub uniform. 7 innings, he punched out 9.
And it'll be left-handers on the mound tonight. Travis Wood against John Danks, and the DH is Mike Alt for the Cubs, Paul Konerko, the captain, for the Sox. Wood 2-0 in his career against the White Sox as the Cubs start a 9-game road trip. We'll have the Cubs and Sox next.
By your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. AT&T Uverse. AT&T Uverse TV. Check availability at 1-800-PIC-ATT. Rethink possible. Ford. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. And by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Well, it has warmed up a bit, and our view normally of downtown Chicago is looking south from Wrigley Field, but we take a gander north. From U.S. Cellular Field, we got a brief shower about an hour and a half ago, but we're set for the first pitch here momentarily. And hey, good news on the farm. Left-hander Chris Russin with a no-hitter at New Orleans today. 9 innings, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. And he also had a couple of hits at the plate. Congrats to Chris Russin.
First no-hitter in Cubs history, or not in their history, but in the last 30 years. Reggie Patterson turned the trick back in 1984.
Nice play, Javier Baez, right there. How about Matt Caesar coming up here in a second on a catch in center to preserve the no-no.
Yeah, how about that? Some high drama. Nice accomplishment for Chris Russin. His first no-hitter since Little League.
Another left-hander has rejoined the bullpen, Zach Rosscup, replacing Pedro Strop, who goes on the DL with a groin strain. Let's get the Cubs Southwest starting lineup. It does include the DH here the next couple of days. Bonifacio, Lake, and Rizzo will start things. Castro, Castillo, and the DH Holt in the middle. Luis Valbuena, good numbers here and against Danks. Barney, the second baseman. Kalish will play right tonight and hit ninth.
White Sox defense brought to you by Kia. They've committed 27 errors this year. They're towards the bottom of the American League in that category, but you can't blame it on Alexi Ramirez. He's played every inning of every game. He's only made 1 error so far. And our Lexus starting pitcher for the Sox, veteran left-hander John Danks. 6 starts, he's 2-2 with an ERA sitting right at 5. Control normally good for him, has not been so far this year. He's only struck out 1 more than he has walked. Got ambushed in his last start, gave up 5 first-inning runs to the Cleveland Indians, and the Cubs would love to drop a crooked number on him early after really scuffling in the first 2 games of this crosstown series.
Now the umpires, Tom Woodring will don the mask. Marvin Hudson's at first. Jerry Meals is a crew chief. He's at second. Paul Emmel over at third. So same crew we had at Wrigley Field. And if tonight's Cubs leadoff man gets a hit, Vinny's Beverage Depot will donate $100 to JDRF.
Well, he has shined in this role. He's batting .400, leading off ball games. The .464 on base percentage.
I'm going to ask him what that little maneuver is. I don't know if he's got a few blades of grass. He just wants to check out the wind that he tosses in the air before the game starts. And we are underway. High for ball 1 on a fastball from Danks. Back quickly and catches the outside.
Fastball that has progressively lost zip over the last 3 years or so, averaging just about 88 miles per hour with his heater so far this year. Never been a guy who's really going to blow it by you, but shoulder surgery a couple of years ago, and that velocity has gone down a tick or 2 each of the last couple of seasons. Good change up. He relies heavily on it. A cut fastball and a curveball to go along with that fastball.
Recently turned 29, 6'1", 210, born in Austin, Texas, as Bonifacio could not hold up. Strikeout to start the game.
Got to force him to get the ball down. You see it well when it's up high like that, but obviously can't do anything with that pitch.
Cubs have dropped their last 3 in a row, scoring just 2 runs in the first 2 games of this series against the Sox. In fact, they've only scored twice in 4 games against the American League. Remember that doubleheader shutout sweep in New York in April. Oh, 0-1 on Lake. 1 ball, 1 strike. He's learned well from Mark Burley, didn't he? He gets the ball and he is immediately ready to pitch. See some Cub hitters asking for time to try to mess up his rhythm. There's a bouncer to Marcus Semien, who might not be in the lineup tomorrow because Connor Gillespie just came off the disabled list today.
The challenge for the right-handed hitters against Danks tonight is going to be to stay back on that changeup. It's probably his best pitch. He's going to try to throw that elevated fastball up around the letters and then turn over a little 2-seam fastball, and he'll throw that changeup out of that same arm slot.
Rizzo, who's done a lot of damage against lefties, we've chronicled it a lot. His OPS over 1,000. Half his home runs have been off left-handed pitchers, inside and low. 2-0. It's in there for a strike. Mentioned Gillespie coming off the DL. Danks' younger brother Jordan sent back to the minors. There's a high drive out into right, back toward the warning track, and caught by Sierra right in front of the fence. Rizzo just got under one. And Danks goes 1-2-3 in the first. The White Sox are coming up against Travis Wood when we come back. Well, all smiles and hand in hand before the game. We'll see how they exit the building tonight. Now the White Sox Southwest starting lineup. They're on their first 3-game win streak of the year. Beckham with the big night last night, game-winning home run, one of his 4 hits. Diaz is in center. Abreu at first. Viciedo plays left and cleans up. Ramirez at short. Paul Konerko, you see his numbers against the Cubs. Sierra had 4 hits. Semien the game winner on Monday night, and Adrian Nieto, the catcher. Travis Wood ready to work. Strange for him, such a great athlete, he doesn't get to bat tonight.
Yeah, bad timing. Yeah, bad timing taking his bat out of the lineup. Here's the Cubs defense, brought to you by Kia. A little different look in the outfield. Ryan Kalish gets a start in right. Nate Scherholtz gets a day off.
Beckham with a roller to Castro, who throws across for the out.
How about our Lexus starting pitcher for the Cubs tonight? You saw a glimpse of him. It's Travis Wood. We'll tell you a little bit more. He's been very good so far this year. He had one rocky one. That was 2 starts ago. Came back last time and pitched very well. Beat St. Louis. Add it all up, he's 2-3 with a 3.35. Note the walks and strikeouts. It's better than 5-1. I'll do the math for you. See, 7 times 5. 37 strikeouts, 7 walks. Pretty impressive stuff for the 27-year-old southpaw.
I might even say it's a little Cliff Lee-like.
It is Cliff
and they're
Lee.
very good friends.
Yeah. Those Arkansas left-handers.
Here's De Aza. He had hit leadoff over the prior 4 games, filling in for Adam Eaton, who's on the DL, but he's hitting second against the lefty tonight. Pleasant night, 62 degrees. Line and caught by the third baseman, Valbuena.
Glove save and a beauty. The analyst is obligated to say at this point. Diaz with a pretty good approach against the lefty, just trying to ping the ball the other way, but Valbuena well positioned. 2 quick outs for Wood, 1 on the ground, and this line drive snared by Luis. Clubhouse had a little different feel before the game today too, with Travis Wood being the starting pitcher. A lot of country music rocking that room.
Yeah, the starting pitcher generally controls the stereo and what the team's going to wear when the club is on the road.
No, we never had that kind of clout back in my day. We were just told to shut up and pitch. Get the boys off the field.
Were you literally told to shut up and pitch?
Yeah,
that's harsh.
You're not athletes.
The 0-1 to Abreu is low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
The position players were referred to as the regulars, so I guess it made us the irregulars. Very good middle away. You got to be careful. You go away from him. Keep it down. That is a big pitch for Travis Wood. That backdoor slider, or cutter as he calls it, to the right-handed hitter. Big part of his successful season last year.
Fouled out of play. His catcher got knocked around a lot last night. I talked to Willie. He said, hey, I'm fine. Part of the job.
Edwin Jackson was really good last night, but he throws a lot of pitches down in the dirt, fastball and the slider. So it's kind of a given when Edwin's out there that Willie's going to take some bumps and bruises. But Edwin Jackson was really good last night. Had that slider disappearing, and he helped out too with his arm.
Well, Jackson had a pickoff early in the game. Edwin commented he thinks that might have been his best start as a Cub. I think I would disagree. 2-2, and Abreu stays alive.
Every 11.2 at bats, this young guy has left the yard.
Another 2-2 on the way, and that ball will end up in the left field corner. Lake will pick up the loose change, and Abreu has a 2-out double.
De Aza hit the ball sharply, as does Abreu, and this is just good hitting. See how he uses the legs to go down and get that backdoor breaking ball. That's the report on Abreu You hear from the scouts, you hear from the Sox people. He's not just a big guy who can hit the ball out of the ballpark. He's a complete hitter.
That's a really nice looking swing.
And I think, again, I think they did him a favor by not getting in on him a little bit.
Viciedo just 2 out of his last 19, but one of those hits, a game-winning home run in the 9th on Sunday to beat the Cleveland Indians.
Very really good middle away. See how he leans. See how that front foot goes towards home plate. That allows him to go out and cover that outside corner. Look where it is on our pitch track. That thing is below the knees, the outside part of the plate.
He's able to hook pull it into the left field corner. Meantime, 2-0 on Viciedo, who's the cleanup man tonight. Driven to right in the corner, and it is foul. So just a loud strike. 2-1.
I said time and time again, starting pitchers, sometimes you just need a little good fortune in the first inning to get locked in and find that release point. You're better able to command your pitches.
Viciedo, one of 4 White Sox players out of their 9 in the lineup tonight, born in Cuba. Abreu, Viciedo, Ramirez, and Nieto.
Ooh, good pitch.
3-1.
Double take by Travis Wood. Shoots for that outside corner. Yeah, I think so. I wonder what the record for Cuban-born players in a major league lineup is. The Blue Jays set the record for Dominican-born players. Was it 6? Yeah. Just a few days ago.
Strike called. Well, Abreu probably would just be doing what he would be doing on any team because he's really good, but I'm sure in his first year, adding to his comfort a little bit, being around some teammates who can relate to his experience. And the payoff pitch from Wood is taken for ball 4. Comes Alexei Ramirez. 40 hits in April, a White Sox record. All this happening with 2 outs. Line and into center for a base hit. Lake up with it, rather a Bonifacio. And Ramirez makes it 1-0. So a double, a walk, a single, all with 2 outs, and the White Sox strike first.
2-out runs seem to be a bit of a theme in this series for the White Sox. It's a big 2-out knocks and winning the first 2 games. And here's Alexei Ramirez giving them a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the first.
Rare start for Konerko tonight against the lefty. 434 career homers, all but 7 as a member of the White Sox. 58 have come in interleague play, second most all time. And ball one. Jim Thome, the all-time leader with 64. Jim was at Wrigley Field last night.
Strong human being.
Grew up a Cub fan in Peoria. Jim Thome. What was the story? He went to Wrigley and tried to get an autograph from Dave Kingman. Couldn't. But then Barry Foote came through. I remember telling that story when Jim was an active player. 2-0 on Konerko.
Probably have to trade 2 Barry Foots to get a Kingman, though, wouldn't you?
Fouled out of play.
I guess it would be a Barry Feet. It would be 2 Barry Foots.
It would be Kingman for the Tampa.
A lot of damage inflicted by Konerko against the Cubs over the years. A lot of clubs can say that.
Trying to think, one of his teammates quoted in one of the papers the other day saying he should have gotten a framed picture of Barrett and Przinsky's fight from the Cubs, signed by both guys.
Yeah.
Michael cold-cocked AJ. Rivalry not quite as intense as it was back then. Some huge personalities involved. Ozzie, and Dusty, and Lou, and Carlos Zambrano. Wood got the first 2 out relatively quickly. Then Abreu with a long at bat resulted in a double. Viciado walked. Ramirez knocked in Abreu, and now it's 3-1 on Konerko. Here's the pitch. The bases are loaded. Well, it's a flashback. Collision at the plate. And then Michael slugs Przinsky, and it got really nasty. You know, John Mabry was trying to play peacemaker, and he got sideswiped. It was Brian Anderson.
The jarring short right delivery there by Barrett. See Przinsky going into the dugout, slapping his face. But nothing. Didn't feel it.
Moises Sierra, career high 4 hits last night. He bounces one just wide of third. It's foul. Even though he was going to be in the lineup until maybe a half hour before the first pitch.
Yeah, Adam Dunn was a late scratch with a calf issue. Sierra got the start and made the most of it. So he tries to put his best foot forward here in his early days as a member of the White Sox. Talk so much about run support, and you know, hitters will tell you, gee, we don't want our pitcher feeling like he has to go out there and pitch a shutout. Well, the same thing works the other way too. A club that's struggling to score runs, as a starting pitcher, you feel a certain sense of responsibility to go out there and hold the other club down early, so you guys can relax a little bit. Clearly, a lot of these Cub hitters are pressing, and it would be even more so the case if they fall down 3 runs here in the first inning or so.
Travis wanted it, so did Castillo. Didn't get it. 1-2.
It's at least the second pitch in this inning where Travis Wood fairly convinced he had made his pitch. It's on the plate. Is it high enough is the question. According to our Menards pitch tracks, it's just fine, but Woodring has not called it on either occasion.
Trying to limit the damage. The White Sox with a run in and trying to get more, and that ball punched foul to right.
Don't know if it's the scouting report on these White Sox hitters or if it's just maybe the way he warmed up. And when you start a game, sometimes you have confidence in certain pitches and not others. But not seeing the cutter in on these right-handed hitters that we're used to seeing. Here we go.
The 1-2 and inside on that cutter. 2-2. Got Wood on the mound and Woodring calling balls and strikes. Swing and a miss. So the White Sox leave the bases loaded. They do get one and lead 1-0 after an inning. Blackhawks Wild game. Tune in to Comcast Sportsnet for Blackhawks post-game live. Go inside the dressing room, hear from Coach Q. Get the breakdown on Game 4. Blackhawks post-game live Friday on Comcast Sportsnet after the Blackhawks game. The series will go at least 5 after the Wild shut out the Hawks last night. 1-0 on Starlin Castro. Career .425 average in this ballpark. Danks with a 1-1. Just missed. First round pick of the Texas Rangers back in 03. Outside, it's 3-1. Shoulder surgery in August of 2012. Had a rough year last year when he came back.
87 right down the heart of the plate. That's normally a pitch you're going to see Castro square up, but he swung right through it.
Here comes a 3-2, and it's fouled out of play. .414 with a .475, 22 starts. Last season for Danks as he walks the leadoff man. The Cubs have their first base runner.
Yeah, well, we talked about Danks and the diminished velocity over the last couple seasons for him. So that's a big adjustment. To learn to pitch without that good fastball. He's got a good changeup, but it's obviously a pitch he's going to have to rely on more frequently, and that has been the case. Throw that fastball all that often. It's more of a show me pitch. Try to get you to chase it out of the zone, but first pitch fastball less than 40% of the time from him so far this year.
Blowing in on Wellington Castillo.
It's cooled off in recent days. Curveball.
That's the pitch he will throw very rarely. Pretty good move to first. That change-up grip. The 1-1 blowing away.
Really turns it over. This looks like a screwball. Catcher's an interesting story for the White Sox. Nieto, Cuban as well, a Rule 5 draft pick, so he had not played above A ball prior to this year. Played for Potomac last year, Class A ball for the Washington Nationals. Born in Cuba, defected to the States. Well, his family did when he was just a kid, a little guy, like at the age of 4. So he went to high school in Florida. White Sox obviously like his skill set, like his potential. Willing to take him in that Rule 5 draft and carry him all summer long.
They're waiting him out here in the second. Back-to-back full counts. Castro walked. 3-2 on Castillo.
He won't throw it straight here, I don't think. He'll either throw a changeup or try to throw a cutter in. Or he'll just throw it to first base and think about it a little longer. Could be an action pitch. They might have Castro moving here on 3-2.
Castro not running, and Castillo hits it in the air, shallow center. It's De Aza for the out.
Get your tickets to the party of the century. During the next homestand, the Cubs will celebrate with music, food, and fun. Reminiscent of the 30s. For more information about the 30s celebration, visit WrigleyField100.com. The Brewers and Yankees will be in for a short 5-game homestand. Get your tickets at Cubs.com. Do it today.
1930s music, so it's at early Stones.
Early Stones, yep, just when they were kind of coming together, trying to figure it all out.
Here's a DH, Mike Alt. To check on the runner, Castro.
The first place Brewers coming to town. You got the Yankees, Jeter, and all that. Should be good times at the ballpark.
Outside corner. Like just 2 for his last 23. Leading National League rookies in RBIs. Kind of feeling his way. pitch. In 1-1.
3 of his 4 home runs have come off of left-handed pitching. We know he's plenty strong. We've seen him drive the ball a long way the other way. Just too many swings and misses.
All or nothing against lefties to this point.
With a quick pitch change up that time, Dinks. Breaking in all the tricks.
The idea is to kind of rush the delivery and then pull the string.
Yeah, he kind of jumps out at the hitter and throws them back-to-back changeups. It's a tough pitch to execute because there's a tendency for the arm to drag and hang that changeup. But if you can make a good pitch with that quick pitch delivery, you can really upset the timing of the hitter. Danks able to do it there to Old.
Well, the Cubs have some lefties in their lineup, maybe neutralizing that changeup a bit, and Danks has had some struggles against lefties in the last couple of years.
Yeah,
Valbuena's 3 for 4 against him.
I think you know, if I'm a manager, I feel pretty comfortable putting left-handed bats in against this style of pitcher. The finesse left-hander who relies on the changeup. Doesn't have a great breaking ball. Doesn't have that lane-changing slider. 2 things. You diminish his best pitch to a certain extent. And plus, you change the look. And a guy like Danks has been around a while with that good changeup. You send one right-handed batter after another up there, and he can really get into a groove.
Three balls, no strikes. Kick, the pitch. Knee high, 3-1. Go back to five years ago or so, as Valbuena fouls out of play. That changeup has become just a little bit more important for Danks, as you mentioned, the fastball velocity has gone down. He's had to use that off-speed pitch more and more often. And according to the Baseball Cube, 2010, he threw his fastball 45% of the time and averaged almost 92 miles an hour with it. He threw his changeup under 18%. This year, he's throwing his changeup more than his fastball. That ball drilled out the other way, and it's going to go to the wall. Castro should be able to score. Thankfully, that ball stayed in the park. If it had bounced over the barrier, Castro would have had to stay at third. But it's an RBI double for Valbuena.
Now Valbuena taking a page out of the White Sox playbook with a big 2-out knock. This time a double to score Castro. Good at bat, good patient approach. And he leans on one the other way into the alley in left center. Yep, just misses bouncing out of here. Castro moving with the pitch. Chugs on home. And we're back to square.
Cash in that leadoff walk. Brings up Darwin Barney. Mentioned he's been toying with contact lenses. He discarded them during the game Monday night. That was the game in which the temperature got down to about -40.
Cold and windy.
That's what it felt like. Yeah, he said the wind was too much. Thinking about his eyes, he said can't do that during a game. So still a work in progress in that regard. 0-2. Went up with a fastball. Wasn't up enough, but he got away with it.
Yeah, well, you always wonder. I remember doing this too, where sometimes the catcher, I didn't like it when the catcher came out of that crunch. Just let me know you want it up. And the guy would stand up, and it kind of freaked me out a little bit. And you wonder sometimes if the pitcher doesn't just, well, he's standing up, but I'm not going to throw it up there.
Rayu. I think he caught it. He did. That's a nice play. And that'll end the inning. The Cubs do tie the game on the 2-out double by Valbuena. Got the security guard, got the fans, but he made the play.
Come on, Cub fan. Make that play.
Of it. I like it a lot better. Welcome back to U.S. Cellular Field. Tie ball game at 1 as Travis Wood heads back to the bump. You could tell by his body language in the first, of course, would have liked to have turned around a few of those calls. And Wellington Castillo right now putting in some extra work to try and help that cause. He was out with catching coach Mike Borzello the other day, who's trying to get him to take his mitt in closer to his body and snap off those pitches, because obviously, guys, with your arm in front of you making those catches, the umpire can see exactly where the pitch goes, but as it's closer to your body, maybe turn those shoulders a bit, you can maybe get a few of those calls to go the other way. Of course, Borzello followed up on that saying Molina, one of the best at doing that. And JD, I want to ask you, when you got a catcher who can do something like that, how confident does it make you there on the bump? Well,
you know, it just buys the strikes. Yeah, it buys the strikes, and you're appreciative of that skill set more than anything. And that's kind of the next piece for Wellington. You know, he's got a big arm. He's very good at blocking pitches.
Sent into center, and it's hauled in by Bonifacio.
Some of the advanced metrics from last season, indicate that that's a bit of a flaw in Wellington's game. So just to, be a little softer, funnel the ball into his body a little bit more. That's what they're looking for. Basically, you're trying to create an illusion. When it's a strike, you want to make sure you give the umpire a real good look at it. When it's on the edge or down a little bit, you want to cradle that pitch, bring it in close to your body, try to buy a call. You don't want to take a pitch that's 4 inches outside and catch it and snatch it back into the strike zone. That's not going to help anybody, and the umpire's just going to get annoyed with you. It's the subtle movements. Molina, Jose Molina was really good. Benji Molina.
Yeah,
so
Jose,
the DNA
a lot
there.
of people think is the best.
Jonathan Lucroy rates very highly in terms of framing.
Nieto switch batting catcher. The 0-1 on the way is downstairs. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ground ball to third. Scooped by Valbuena. Kelly.
Well, guys, one of the things, JD, I know I was talking to you earlier before the game, but one of the things Wellington said after just working on that low in the zone, keeping it close to his body for maybe 10 minutes, he said, his forearm was on fire. And so that got me thinking it has to be because he's just using that part of his arm instead of the whole arm and body to kind of make those catches. But I found that pretty interesting. He said he'd have to change his weight room routine from now on to work on the forearms a little bit.
Yeah, it's a lot with the wrist.
Yeah, the other thing you'll see him well before a game, they've got a tiny catcher's mitt. And Borzello will just throw balls to him, bouncing them in the outfield or just playing catch with the small mitt. Try to get it, right in the breadbasket. Mike's good. He works very hard with the Cubs catchers.
And he's got a willing pupil. You've got to have a guy who's willing to listen and take advice and put in the time.
Went with a 1-1 to Beckham, and it's way outside.
I think that's some catchers maybe it comes naturally to them. Others I think it's a little bit tougher because for a lot of guys the natural inclination is to go get the ball. You want to reach out and you want to go get the ball, but the best guys let the ball come to them.
Two and two. Coming into tonight after the 4-hit performance on Tuesday night, Beckham hitting .356 lifetime against the Cubs.
You need a guy in a Bears jersey up there with that group.
(3-2) to Beckham. Several matinees today, including Miami with another home win. 1-0 over the Mets. 5 hits combined. Miami got its run in the bottom of the 9th to win it. This is Rizzo in foul territory, and that's it for the White Sox in the second. They go down in order, 1-2-3. Join the Anthony Rizzo Family Foundation after the game on Friday, May 16th at Rebel downtown for the second annual Cook-Off for Cancer presented by Call One. Celebrity chefs will cook off self-inspired ballpark fare served by Cubs players. Guests will vote on their favorite chefs and dishes by tipping their Cubs server. Ultimately, tips and event proceeds will benefit pediatric cancer research, care, and support, a cause close to home for Anthony and his family. Cubs.com/cook for more. Ryan Kalish bounces right back to Danks. And one out here in the Cubs' third.
Thanks from a very athletic family. His brother Jordan, as Len mentioned earlier, was just sent down to their AAA club. His dad was a four-year letterman at the University of Texas on the basketball team. His sister Emily played volleyball at Ohio State.
Bonifacio for the second time. Strike called. Heyman hitting .389 as a right-handed batter this season. Shank foul, 0-2. So the Marlins are 17-5 at home. Best home record in the majors. Emilio strikes out for the second time. Just finished off an 8-1 homestand.
Are the fish for real? That is the question.
We will find out over the course of a long 6 months, won't we?
I know there are some scouts that were fairly bullish on them this spring because of their pitching.
Well, you know what we may find out? Tomorrow, at least on this next road trip. 11-game trip starts in San Diego, and they are 2-10 on the road.
Yeah, they're actually in the bottom of the half of the league in terms of team ERA, so it's not all about the pitching. They're second in the league in batting average. Giancarlo Stanton's off to a great start. We talked about Danks and his changeup usage and how it has increased in recent years. And obviously, as the fastball gets a little shorter, you need to do something different. And you know, he's a smart guy, and he's been able to do that. Not only that, but just the movement he gets on his changeup makes it a really good pitch. Even if hitters are looking for it, he's able to turn it over and get some sink on it. He can get some ground balls or catch him out on that front foot just enough. Makes that heater up there look a little better. This is kind of classic finesse lefty stuff. I want to go back into the Wayback Machine. Think about guys like Buddy Black or Charlie Leibrandt, Tom Browning.
Blake trying to hang in there. Another 0-2, and he got him this time. Back-to-back Ks to end the inning. We go to the bottom of the third and a 1-1 tie. Using hashtag #NorthsideFanPhoto for a chance to have it appear later on in tonight's broadcast, and it's brought to you by AT&T. Travis Wood 2-0 against the White Sox. Cubs trying to end a 3-game losing streak. As it chokes up on the bat, and a nifty curveball over.
A smile-inducing curveball. They didn't tell me about that in the meeting.
Diamondbacks beat the Brewers today in Milwaukee. Bronson Arroyo moves to 3-2. Diamondbacks have won 5 of 7, 3-2 the final. Arroyo went into the 8th in that one. You know, they came back and won last night.
Yeah.
Gave up 5 in the first. The D-backs will be here on the south side of Chicago on Friday. Milwaukee has dropped 6 of 8.
Barely staying alive. The Cardinals leading 6-1 tonight behind Adam Wainwright. They're in the middle innings in Atlanta. If St. Louis wins that game, they'll move within 4 games of first place Milwaukee. Pirates won again today, beat the Giants by a run, so they've won 2 in a row. Trying to get headed in the right direction.
Call strike 3. Time now for our lows. Never stop improving. Last year, Travis Wood was the Cubs all-star rep. He got to exactly 200 innings. Believe it or not, was under 500 with that sparkling earned run average. Even though he's just 2-3 this year, the other numbers say he's been pretty good.
We highlighted those strikeout walk numbers at the start of the ball game. His walk rate just a little over 4%. That's way better than league average. Struck out about 23% of the batter's face. That's a little better than league average.
Out in the left center for Abreu. Ball be cut off by Lake. Here comes the throw towards second, and it's late. And he's 2 for 2 with 2 doubles.
Double, Toil and trouble. Whacked the first one into the left field corner, and this time he lashes a line drive to left center. Again, it's pitch out away from him and down a little bit. I think they have to get his attention up and in a little bit.
Where Wood got into trouble in the first inning, middle of the order here. Ground ball to Rizzo. He didn't even look at the runner, because that's the second out. So Abreu's at third with 2 down.
Kind of an automatic when the ball's hit on the ground to the right side like that. The base runner is going to advance to third And when the ball's sharply hit, sometimes there is a play to be made. It's kind of a high risk play because it's one that guys aren't used to making, whether it's the first baseman or the second baseman. Generally, the thinking is let's just go ahead and make the sure out.
So Baseball Reference, I mean, you could spend on just one player's page, you could spend a whole day looking at fun stuff. A couple of Travis Wood notes. They have a category called cheap wins. Wins and starts, you don't go 6. Or you give up more than 3 earned runs, or you win a non-quality start. In his career, 1. He has 1, quote, cheap win. Wow. And under the tough loss category, which is you lose in a quality start, he has 14 of those.
Well, it's an epidemic around here lately.
Kalish will make the grab. Does that tell you everything you need to know about pitchers' wins? It's 1-1 after 3.
Welcome back. 1-1 ball game. We were talking earlier. Kelly brought up Wellington Castile working with Mike Barzell, working on framing pitches. We'll take a look here at this pitch from Wood that's down a little bit, and how Wellington kind of cradles it, pulls it back up a little. And this isn't exactly what we're talking about. He kind of reaches for this one, but you get the idea, the value, just the ability to kind of bring that up, give the umpire a good look at it, see if he can steal a call.
Strike called on Rizzo.
That was kind of a go out and get it and then bring it up. We're trying to get him to be a little softer, a little more subtle, but appreciate the effort. He got the call.
On the ground, and this is the shortstop, Ramirez. So I'm scoring it in my little way, 6-3 and in parentheses 4.
Yeah, that's I've tried to
come
up with some kind of an angle there too to indicate the direction where the ball was hit.
Here's Castro, leadoff walk, and the Cubs run in the second.
This is an anniversary for Castro, his big league debut when he went nuts.
Yeah, cleared the bases with a triple and then hit a 3-run homer. Major league record 6 RBIs. In the air, actually De Aza went in a step before heading back toward the wall to make the play. It was 4 years ago today, believe it or not.
Danks has gotten into a nice rhythm here, and he's one of those guys that can give you a comfortable offer. Not throwing 95 miles an hour. You don't go up to home plate thinking you're overmatched, but he just gets you out.
Okay, so now Castillo has to take off or remove the catcher's brain and put the hitter's brain into his head. And every defender has to do that, but it's obviously a much bigger deal for a catcher. I mean, we mentioned Ricky's talked about his guys being mentally fried after a game. Think about a catcher.
Yeah, involved in every pitch. And then he has to worry about his own at bats.
I wouldn't say it makes it easier to hit, but in some cases it might be okay that you don't grind on your 0 for 3s because you don't have time to.
You can bring a lot of value even when you're scuffling at the plate.
Swing and a miss on the changeup. Danks has been really good tonight. So has Travis Wood.
We move to the bottom of the 4th here on the south side, and Travis Wood doing a pretty darn good job out there, just following suit with Edwin Jackson and Jeff Samardzija, who Shark today spoke about how that starting rotation can really push one another.
We had a great group of starting pitchers, man. Everybody's on the same page, and outside of Woody, you know, he's a lefty, so no one really cares about him anyways. You know, the righties are all pretty close knit, and we share information, and then on those 5th days, we watch Woody go shove, you know, as a lefty. So, you know, very close-knit group, and we feed off each other, and we definitely challenge each other, too, big time.
So Jeff and Travis, obviously very good friends, but getting his own little dig in there to the southpaw this afternoon. But certainly, guys, we have seen some tremendous pitching from the starters as of late.
Thanks, Kelly. I love it. Watch him shove every 5th day. I think we know how the end of that sentence is supposed to go.
Put a little filter on there. Threw him under the bus first, and then he had to throw him a bone.
Konerko, Sierra, and Simeon. Two balls, no strikes. Quite a series in Pittsburgh. Another close one today. Garrett Cole over Tim Lincecum, 4-3 the final as the Pirates grab the victory. That is a strike. It's 2-1.
Cole beat Lincecum. Melanson with his second save. Jason really on the disabled list. Brandon Belt homered for the Giants, his 9th. I say that because I predicted a big year for him, so every time he does something good, I'm going to be sure to point it out.
Mention it. Fouled out of play. We'll keep an eye on Nolan Arenado tonight in Texas. Well, 7-0 in the 4th. Let's see. Did he extend his streak? I have to think he did. He did. He's 2 for 2. He's got a 27-game hitting streak. That ties their club record.
Rockies red hot. They won 8 out of 10. They're 21-14. They're 22-14 after tonight. Tulowitzki's turned the cover off the ball.
Driven to deep center. Bonifacio back at the wall. He's got it.
Pretty good poke by Konerko. Big part of the yard, and Bonifacio able to track it down a couple of steps shy of the wall. Charlie Blackmon 2 for 3 tonight, batting .365 for the Rockies. Justin Morneau hitting .339.
Steven Strasburg beat Dan Herron today, 3-2 Nationals over the Dodgers.
Hey, how about the Matt Williams story today?
So did you hear the audio? I did not.
I did not. I read a little bit of the transcript. Matt Williams, the manager of the Nationals, was doing an interview while driving to the ballpark, and he got rear-ended by a guy who was trying to run away from the police. Look out!
Oh, man, Wood got hit by that bat. Throw gets away. And Sierra to second. Wood actually heads over to third to cover. That got a big piece of him. And here comes P.J. Mainville and Ricky Renteria. He says he's okay. I hope he's not cut.
Yeah, it looked like a pitching hand arm that he initially looked at. Well, this is scary stuff. You see a lot with these shattered bats. Normally gets hit, but that one got him on the pitching hand.
He had no chance to get out of the way. So not that you ever want to get hit at all, but would you rather get hit by the barrel, suffer some sort of bruise, or get cut? I'd probably rather not get cut. He's very fortunate. By the way, an error on the throw, but a single for Sierra. So infield hit and an error on Valbuena.
Ooh, I didn't even see the play. I was watching Travis.
Yeah, he dodged a bullet there, no question. That one looked like it could have been a bad one.
Plus, you worry about the injury. Just the twist. Trying to get out of the way, you put yourself in an odd position. You could tweak a knee or strain a groin or something like that.
So Matt Williams, did he then get a ticket for talking on a cell phone while driving?
I don't believe so. But he continued the interview and basically gave play-by-play. Hey, I just got rear-ended. Some guy's trying to run away from the cops.
Two 2-0 now to Semien. balls, no strikes. Nieto's on deck. Well, it does make you wonder, doesn't it? I mean, after that happened, those 4 straight pitches out of the strike zone.
Not that Semion's only win. It may be a case where once he fell behind, he just didn't want to give in. So we can get a double play here from Nieto. Oh my goodness! We got
Brooks Boyer just stopped by with a
helmet
a banana split and a helmet.
It was like 9 pounds of banana split.
Yeah. 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Somebody actually ate this thing. Brooks telling me.
Wow!
No
and look, and if you can see the back,
the opposing broadcasters,
yeah.
Brooks.
And Patrick Mooney is waiting in the wings. He's back in the green room, and he's going to come on and try to shatter that record.
Thanks, Brooks. This is ridiculous. And I'm going to have some during the break. 1-0 on Nieto. On the outside corner, 1-1. Put that on ice.
Wow. Something.
Two on with 1 out here in the 4th and a 1-1 tie. Strike 2.
Earlier in the game, Wood wasn't getting that pitch down, but you don't give up on it. Keep throwing it, keep lobbying the home plate umpire. Hey, that's a good pitch, man. That's not down. Don't give up on it. Castillo trailing it up a little bit.
For the second straight night.
It's the 3rd White Sox picked off in this series. Well, you see how far Rizzo's off the bag. Big secondary lead taken by Semien, and they're not even close.
Was Sierra picked off by Castillo in the 4th inning last night. Gordon Beckham picked off by Edwin Jackson last night as well. So now runner at second, 2 outs.
There's no education in the second kick of a mule. White Sox having a hard time learning the lesson here. Well, that's a great example. You talked about Wellington, what you can do as a catcher, even though you're struggling at the plate. So it's game calling, framing pitches, blocking pitches, and then you help get your pitcher out of a big situation with a pickoff.
3-2 on the way, and ball 4.
It's the 3rd one where Travis has started to walk off like he had his man. The Wood ring. Wouldn't ring him up. Travis Wood. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck?
Yes, my partner's left-handed. Here's Beckham. Change-up missed.
I was with Travis. I was walking off too. I thought he made the pitch. Our goals are different. He wants to get out of the inning. I want to get after this 9-pound ice cream over here. Got 4 walks for Woody tonight. That's rare. Again, you know, a little shaky with his command in the first inning when he walked 2.
Driven in the air, sending Bonifacio back. Still back, and it is gone. Beckham has done it again. A 3-run blast.
Makes that borderline call hurt even that much more. The way the Cubs have scuffled the score runs, that's a huge swing of the bat by Gordon Beckham. Ford home run replay. Looked like that backdoor cutter got a little bit more of the plate than they had hoped for.
Second go-ahead blast in 2 nights for Beckham. Look, we have no evidence to suggest getting smoked by the broken bat has led to what's occurred here, but he hasn't gotten it out other than the pickoff at first since it happened. We'll probably just say just didn't execute my pitches.
He's one of those guys, even if he had an excuse, he wouldn't use it, whereas other guys are just looking to make an excuse when they get knocked around.
Ball strike 3, and the inning comes to an end. That was a painful inning for Travis Wood in more ways than one. It's 4-1 White Sox. Our Cubs insider all season long on Comcast Sportsnet, brought to you by Nationwide Agent Jeff Vukovich. Visit Jeff at jeffvuk.com nationwide. is on your side. Cubs trailing 4-1 as they'll bat here in the 5th inning. Patrick, you want some ice cream? That's the first order of business. Dessert has arrived.
Ice cream and Patrick. This is awesome.
So pregame today, there's always something going on when the Cubs and Sox get together, and I guess today it was ask Jeff Samardzija about his pitch counts.
Yeah, exactly. Whenever we come over here, it seems like there's something, whether it's Z in the dugout or with Lou, Piniella, Milton Bradley.
That's going to go for Mike Alt behind the bullpen. He got all of it on a 2-0. Boy, did he need that.
Yes. To answer your question, he did. We talked about his strength earlier. There's been a lot of swings and misses from Mike, but when he connects, it can go a long way. Look at the way he finishes the hands. Throwing that top hand through there.
4-2 now. Here's Valbuena.
Yeah, I mean, with Old yesterday, I think for the first time, people were asking if he was going to be sent down to Iowa after he spent all of spring training, wondering if he was going to make the team, and everyone on Twitter was obsessing over whether he'd win the third base job. And then, yesterday, Renteria said we're sticking with this guy. We're not talking about anything like that. And obviously, he needed, a big swing like that to get on track.
So Jeff, on the pitch counts, I knew what he would say. He basically said, I know myself, my body, what I'm capable of doing better than anybody else. And I think he appreciated the fact that his manager let him go out there in the ninth.
Yeah, without a doubt. He said, Renteria is a straight shooter. Do I want to throw 126 pitches every time? He said, absolutely not. Hell no. But he did kind of subtly jab the front office just by saying, this is a matter for uniformed personnel and on-field issue. But overall, he didn't really get why it was such a big deal. He's kind of an old school guy, like JD said.
It's not a big deal though, right? I mean, people are making a big deal out of it because when I heard what Ricky had to say and I heard what Jed had to say, they basically all agree with that. Everybody's basically saying the same thing, only saying it in a different way, right? I mean, Jeff said, I don't want to throw 126 pitches every time too, and Jed has said, well, we want to be careful with our guys, but it's not an exact science. And so it's kind of this media-created controversy almost that, to me, what I've read and what I've heard, everybody's kind of on the same page.
It's perfect for Cubs Sox. It's something.
Oh, yeah.
Keeps Twitter going, there's no question.
Yeah, I think, the big concern is if you start stringing multiple starts back to back to back like that, and nobody's going to do that.
Ground ball, and Dank's got a late break. He's still going to beat Valbuena to first. That'll go 3-1.
Ultimately, you have to protect your assets, and that if you're Jeff Samardzija, you're looking for a huge contract in a year and a half, and if you're the Cubs, you're either going to give him that contract or you want to trade him the way you did Matt Garza and get back a bunch of big-time prospects. So obviously, I guess this weekend we'll be talking about it again when he throws in Atlanta.
Right, so the desire is kind of the same for everybody involved. It's not like if you're in a pennant race and the manager of the team might say, I'm willing to run this guy out there for 130 pitches, 4 starts in a row because it's going to help me win a pennant, and that's to the detriment of the player, and maybe the front office isn't on board with that plan. Here, everybody's kind of the same mind.
The other place I go, it's a larger question as well. There's one thing about protecting your assets. Look, I'm a big pitch count guy. And I told Ricky, I talked to him the day after. I said I was a little surprised you sent him back out for the ninth. And if you didn't walk the 2 guys, it's probably 118, 119, and it's not a conversation. But there's a base hit for Barney. Cubs trailing by 2, but they've got the tying run at the plate. What about the idea of showing people that he can go 9 innings and throw 126 pitches every once in a while? He'd only gone 120
one other time in his career. So then, JD, we get into that question of are we protecting pitchers almost too much of the time?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, every once in a while, guys should be able to throw
absolutely.
that.
You talk about, there are a lot of high stress pitches. You're pitching out of trouble a lot over the course of the ball game. And Jed talked about it because we monitor pitch counts. We're as concerned about a guy who throws 100 pitches in 5 innings as we are about a guy who throws 125 in 9 innings, because he's pitching under a lot of duress and he's reaching back for something extra to get out of a big jam. For the most part, that was a fairly easy start for Jeff.
If he was pulled after 8, he probably would have good-naturedly complained about not finishing
then
the ninth.
We would have had something else to talk about, yeah.
Well, the other part of it is there's some equity that the manager's kind of building with his new team. And Jeff's obviously the Cubs' best pitcher. And the fact he didn't have a win, whether that means anything to anybody outside the clubhouse or not, it means something to those guys. It means something to the manager. And I think that you're building that confidence and that relationship by allowing him to go out and do it. Even though as a manager you're thinking, man, this is a risk. But you know what? I'm willing to take that risk with a guy like him. And he said I'm not 22 anymore.
This is his 4th manager in 5 years. He grew up here, going to Cubs games and Sox games. He loves this stage.
Brady made a mistake. He had an easy out at first, and he decided to throw to second. Everybody's safe.
Yeah, this is a mental error. They're not going to get 2. Doesn't get anybody. A malfunction of the baseball clock for Jose Abreu. Thought he had a play, but he did not.
What else happening, Patrick? I know some people feel this series is too early in the season. We had obviously cold weather Wrigley Field, but I think MLB just they've got to play this at some point, and it's kind of the luck of the draw, I guess, this year, right?
Yeah, I think they just need 2 better teams in this, to be honest. And I think a couple of years ago we had these kind of off the charts personalities.
That's a fair ball. It just got past Simeon. Barney will score. Kalish is going to be stopped.
Stopped too early.
Yeah, Viciedo had some problems with that ball up along the side wall. It's 4-3.
You got to be careful as a third base coach when you bring that man around third base when the ball is in left field, because it's a short throw. So you got to be careful not to bring him too far. But I think he could have taken a bigger turn here and maybe scored. You see, there's a stop sign going up. That's a tough read. That's a tough call. But if Kalish is still coming at that point, Gary Jones might have been able to send him home.
Don Cooper heading out to talk things over. 2nd and 3rd with only 1 out. Junior Lake coming up.
Patrick, you're having a big inning here. Usually when you come on, it's like a 3-3 down, and we don't even get a chance to chat with you.
Not to mention the 3-pound ice cream.
Not to mention. There's the little mishandle in left. Tough once you've stopped to restart. So to that end, a good decision not to try to go with the little mishandle out there.
Field back up the middle, and a big swing and a miss on a changeup. A couple other notes here, Patrick, before we let you go. Aroldis Vizcaíno, now Double-A. Chris Russin with a no-hitter today. Javier Baez, I think, had a couple of hits or 3 hits, but still heading under 200.
Yeah, we were joking around about Chris Russin, who's maybe the most even-keeled guy ever. We were trying to picture him celebrating a no-hitter because he really has handled everything so well. bouncing back and forth between Iowa and here and the bullpen and the rotation. I think, whether it's Marger or Hamill, whoever's traded, I'm sure we'll be seeing him at some point this summer.
Always a pleasure. Thanks for stopping in, and a lot of whipped cream here.
Take a banana with you on the way.
Thanks, guys.
Patrick Mooney, our Cubs insider, 0-2 on Lake.
We've talked a lot in recent games about Junior over-swinging in these situations, and that's, Banks is going to try to play on that with that changeup. A couple guys in scoring position. Ooh. A little punch base hit here would be fine. You don't have to hit it out of the ballpark.
Efficient in 3 of his 5 innings, but laboring here, and a 2-2, and he got it. Exactly what you said. Played off that aggressiveness and able to get him on the change.
Yeah, you take a guy who's aggressive to begin with, put him in an RBI situation where he really wants to try to get something done. He's going to be more aggressive. Just not seeing that changeup.
Shift against Rizzo. Semien the only infielder on the left side of second. Pitch.
Here's Rizzo, who's really maturing as a hitter, so you try to crawl inside his brain, and what he's thinking, he's probably thinking, 2-0, but they've got a base open. There's no guarantee he's going to give in to me here.
Line foul.
Didn't give in. He threw him a changeup, but a rare bad one, a hanger from Danks. Got some hook spin and good swing, but just a loud strike.
Chris Bryant has connected twice for Tennessee tonight. He's got 8 so far. Tennessee blowing out Birmingham. Cubs Double-A affiliate, the Smokies, 18-14. The 2-1 is low and in. Castro on deck.
There's been no speed bumps, has there, for Chris Bryant?
Nope.
Every level, just there about a week, and he's best hitter in the league, one of them. Where he goes, he's been really good. Oh. Catch the corner? I don't think so.
No.
Nieto stealing one for his pitcher.
Strike 3 call. Rizzo will have a chat with Tom Woodring. They'll have to settle for 2, and they trail 4-3 here in the 5th. Well, a guy who really prides himself on his strike zone judgment feels he was cheated here.
Yeah, that's frustrating for a hitter who's doing all the right things, having a patient approach. That one clearly off the outside corner. Danks comes back with the same pitch. This one a little bit closer. I mean, that's a quality pitch from the pitcher's point of view. He didn't want to give in to a dangerous hitter. He's just trying to clip that outside edge with the changeup. There's a still steamed battle out there at first base.
They did close the gap to 1. 2 runs, 1 coming on the Alt homer. Here's Abreu. 2 for 2 with 2 doubles and a run. Fouls out of play.
Man, what do we got there? What's 9 pounds of nachos?
Like salsa, sour cream, guacamole.
Okay, that makes more
chips,
sense.
some jalapenos.
Like mustard for a minute. That doesn't make sense. So the story I read was that Abreu wears number 79 because his mom chose that. She wanted him to stand out.
Went up and in here on the 0-2. Just pulled the hands in. Swatted it into left.
Pretty impressive there. I've been talking all night long how I felt like they had to do their work inside on him, that he covers the outside part of the plate very well, proving that he can handle all kinds of pitches. He doesn't really hammer that one, but a nice adjustment. Pulls the hands in and muscles it into left field. That's pretty impressive stuff.
And it goes off the glove of Barney. That'll be a base hit. Abreu will move to third. Barney was playing him up the middle, so he had a long run to get there. He was only going to get 1 out even if he fielded it cleanly, and it just tipped off the end of his mitt.
Abreu's been on 3 times, Viciedo twice now, and Ramirez 1 out of 2 so far.
Then a run in the first inning. Cubs will give up a run if they could have a double play chance, and rocket it past Abreu, just foul. Saying his prayers after that near miss.
And after the 4th and the way the 5th has started, I suspect the Cubs are going to get somebody going in that bullpen. Zach Roskup joined the ball club today with Pedro Strop going on the DL, but Roskup pitched last night. I'm not sure about his availability. Neil Ramirez might be down. Justin Grimm might be down. There might be a lot of options for Ricky Renteria tonight.
As we mentioned, the Cubs bullpen, Chris Bosio getting a call out there. We're seeing a little scurrying. Smothered and blocked by Castillo. 2-2.
One place in sports you find scurrying, the bullpen. Always scurrying going on out there in the bullpen.
Brian Schlitter. Stirring, scurrying, heating, warming, loosening. Yes, those are verbs often associated with a major league bullpen.
Panicking. Good changeup down and away might do the trick. Heat her in. And good with 2 strikes.
Back-to-back singles to start the inning. Wood with a 2-2. That body language, Ramirez almost just kind of following the ball all the way to the glove. That's a confident hitter.
Yeah, and you hate to see that as a pitcher because you throw a change up there and you're hoping the guy will at least flinch, that you catch him out on that front foot a little bit, but he kind of sniffed out this breaking ball.
Inside, and they are loaded with nobody out. Castillo to head out to the mound.
And we've seen nothing from Travis to indicate that bat coming back that hit him has hurt him in any way. If it would be his hand, you would probably see him looking down at it, or but this is more just a case of missing some spots. The White Sox are having a lot of good at bats. We're talking about, if you didn't see it, scary moment. Shattered bat comes back and catches him somewhere on that left arm.
And I am really
he's pointing to his hip.
Of saying, well, that's the reason all of a sudden the wheels came off, because there's no evidence to believe that caused what has gone on since. But it's amazing he was fine. And he's been in all kinds of trouble since.
Number 14, Paul Konerko.
He's got to face Konerko with the bases loaded.
He came into the game with 7 walks for the year. He's walked 5 tonight. Combination of command issues and an unwillingness to give in. He's trying to make perfect pitches, and getting squeezed on a couple of occasions too from the home plate umpire.
Fair ball. We're going to get at least 2. Abreu, Viciedo, Ramirez. Konerko clears the bases with a double, and it's 7-3. That'll be it for Travis Wood.
And a lot of these Sox fans coming out hoping to get one more look at Paul Konerko, and he hasn't been in the lineup very often, so there's no guarantee that he's going to be in there. So they get a real treat. Not only is he in the lineup tonight, but he delivers a huge base hit.
So on Travis Wood's 100th career start, it ends after just 4+ innings of work. And we'll be back to the south side in a moment. Brian Schlitter. And as he was loosening, Rick Renteria went right to the home plate umpire, Tom Woodring, and gave him a piece of his mind. And he's been ejected for the 3rd time already this season. Yeah,
where's your zone? Where's the zone? Where's the zone? You're squeezing my guy. You're squeezing Travis Wood. Some big pitches he didn't get at critical times. And then when Anthony Rizzo was up there, Ricky Renteria is arguing that all of a sudden the zone got pretty big. So he said his piece, made his point. Woodring sent him to the clubhouse. But players love to see that. Manager going to bat. Fighting for his guys.
Still nobody out.
Imagine one of the points Renteria made. Look, hey, I could live with the Rizzo calls if you weren't squeezing Travis Wood.
Bounce to the second baseman Barney. On the play, Konerko goes to third. 1 out. There's Semien. Infield in. 7-3 White Sox. Base hit left field. Konerko's in. 8-3, and that'll close the book on Travis Wood.
Yeah, a book he'd rather not read. Tough outing. 2 starts ago he struggled. Last time out he was really good. Off his game again here tonight. Comes rotation last time around prior to tonight. 5 starts. Really, really good stuff.
Nieto will now bat lefty against the right-hander Schlitter. Ball 1. 9 runs combined here over the last 3 half innings.
The story on this kid, he's originally just a straight right-handed hitter and then converted to switch hitting. I'm not sure how old he was when he did that, but the story I read when he first decided to become a left-handed hitter, the swing from the left side, he had 3 home runs. First game trying it.
That'd make you want to keep doing it.
Yeah. Nice to get that early feedback.
At that pitch, fouled it back to the screen. It's a ball at 2 strikes. First, Semien back. Mariners beat the A's to open a doubleheader 6-4 in 10 innings. Game 2, Oakland just notched a 2-0 victory in the nightcap. That's a strike call to send Nieto back to the dugout. 2 down.
With two-seamer running back to the inside corner. Perfectly executed.
Go ahead, 3-run homer for Beckham in the 4th. And Shields lives in San Diego and pitching for the Royals. Beat the Padres today 8-0. Got the decision over Andrew Cashner. Two strikes to Beckham. Late swing and a line shot foul to the seats.
All right, on Travis Wood tonight, 4 innings plus, 8 hits, 8 runs, 5 walks, 3 strikeouts. Have to turn the page on this one and start contemplating next time out. That should be Monday against St. Louis. Splitter thought he had a strikeout.
Now a 6-game winner. It's Mark Burley of the Toronto Blue Jays. 10-0. They shut out the Phillies. Little blooper into right. And a sliding grab by Kalish to end the inning, but the White Sox add 4 more runs and lead it 8-3 after 5.
Town Cup comes to a close on Comcast Sportsnet. Scott Carroll looks to continue his recent success as a starter for the Sox, while Castro and Rizzo have other plans for the rookie. Coverage begins at 6:30 live from U.S. Cellular Field. Cubs White Sox tomorrow at 6:30 on Comcast Sports Net.
Well, the offenses putting things up a little bit tonight, especially the White Sox. 8-3 they have the lead. Cubs got it to within 1 with the pair in the 5th. Sox came right back with 4. Danks benefiting from that. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now 1-2.
Change up. Show me fastball up around the eyes.
By the way, Burley, I mentioned 6-1 now. His ERA down to 1.91. Lifted in the air, long run over for Diaz, and he'll get to the spot. The party of the century continues next homestand with a celebration of the 30s. On Friday, May 16th at 1:20, the Cubs welcome in the Brewers. The first 10,000 fans will receive a Babe Ruth called a shot bobblehead. This is the 3rd of 10 special Wrigley Field bobblehead giveaways. Make sure to attend every Friday to complete your set. Tickets are still available, including in the Budweiser bleachers. So go to Cubs.com today. And part of the bobblehead that day is you will then debate whether he's actually calling the shot.
And you can take it home and get little heads of lettuce and throw it at the little Babe bobblehead. Helped it with fruit. Issue disparaging remarks at the Bambino.
2-0. So back to Burley. His fastball was average velocity this year.
I'm going to go 82.7.
83 miles an hour.
We talk about all those, comparing Danks to the likes of Charlie Lebrand and Buddy Black and that group from way back when. But Burley's a great example of a guy who pitches off his changeup. Jamie Moyer.
Carlos Villanueva working out of the Cubs bullpen, starting the season in the rotation. Called strike 3. The Cubs are having all kinds of trouble with Tom Woodring tonight.
Well, he usually doesn't engage with the umpires when he's hitting. Sometimes when he's catching, he'll go to bat for his pitchers. And a little better than Welly realized. Probably making the point. Look, you can give him the one off the corner and give him that one as well.
Fair ball, and Alt is thrown out by Semien. Complete a 1-2-3 6th inning. Danks now with an 8-3 lead in the 6th. Visit the Cubs Authentics auction page every Sunday night. Your chance to own one-of-a-kind game-used Cubs items. This week's auction features a 1929 Cubs throwback uniforms worn this past Sunday night. Go to Cubs.com/authentics to bid on these uniforms and other unique game-used items. Carlos Villanueva is on. He came on last night to replace the injured Pedro Strop, and he took a lot of extra time. I asked him about it today. I said, I give you credit. When you come in for an injured pitcher and you're on the game mound, a lot of guys, especially young pitchers, they don't take as many warm-up tosses as they really need because they feel pressure to get it moving. And he said, I was warmed up, but I didn't really have a good feel for the ball. So he said I took about 3 or 4 extra pitches just to make sure I was okay.
Yeah, he was ready to go, but he took advantage of the opportunity to throw more.
Yeah, and he said somebody was like, let's go. He said, I have as much time as I need. Thank you.
This game will start when I decide it starts.
1-1 to De Aza.
Well, he's pitched twice now out of the bullpen after Jake Arrieta came back and took the spot in the rotation. Scoreless baseball both times. Got some work to do to whittle away at that ERA.
Down by Barney. Does he have time? No.
Second off the glove base hit for the White Sox here. Both times Darwin Barney just couldn't quite corral it. Heck of an effort. These are important outings. You know, we talk so much about bullpens and we focus on late game situations when you're protecting leads, but really important to have a guy that can come in and string some zeros in mid-long relief and give your team a fighting chance to come back on a night like tonight.
Big night for Abreu. He's got 3 hits, 2 doubles, 2 runs. Swing and a miss. A little trivia.
Yep.
Adrian Beltre became the 5th player ever to hit 100 homers with 3 different teams. Tonight, connected on his 100th with Texas. Well, this is not the question. You're going to get this.
She's jumping it.
Dodgers, Seattle, Texas. Well, the question is, who are the other 4 players to do it?
100 home runs
with 3 different teams. Popped him up. Caught in foul territory. One of the guys hit at least 100 with the White Sox. I'll give you that.
I was going to say A-Rod.
Yes. Seattle, Texas, and the Yanks.
Jim Thome?
No. The other 3 are left-handed hitters, or were left-handed hitters.
Do we have to go into the Wayback Machine for any of these guys?
I would say no.
So we're not going
late
back
60s, early 70s would be as far back as you'd have to go. Which makes sense. Before that, guys
teams didn't move around. Guys didn't move around.
So we got A-Rod, Beltre.
There's 3 more. 2 more.
3 more.
3 more.
Nobody give you the teams?
Not yet. Not yet. Darrell Evans?
Darrell Evans. Braves, Giants, Tigers. 2 more. And these guys were known as home run hitters, these 2.
Well traveled with power.
Yeah, one is tricky because I actually didn't know this, that he had hit 100 with this particular team.
Harold Baines?
Nope. Two 2-0.
Anybody active?
No.
It's 2 down. Let's go to Orson Bean. All right, you can give me a...
We mentioned one of them earlier in the broadcast.
Oh, Patrick Mooney. No. Killing me.
Cleveland. Philadelphia. White Sox.
I said Tomey.
Oh, you did say Tomey.
Well, I said Thome.
Oh, you said Thome.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, no, you got it. Okay. Then there's one more. Buena gets Viciedo. I'm not a good listener.
Well, I messed up playing around with his name. So we would have an argument. I was just kidding. Sorry.
Jake Petrichka. All right, the other one did it with the A's, the Yankees, and the Angels.
Oh, yeah, Reggie.
Yeah, I didn't know Reggie hit that many with the Angels.
Good question. I like that question. I remember that one.
For the record, Beltre hit 147 as a Dodger, 103 for the Mariners. Now 100 for Texas. Can we still say he's underrated? I would say that word applies. I think casual fans don't know how great he has been.
You know, when you first asked that question, immediately I went to Kingman. Well traveled, hit a lot of home runs.
He hit 100 with 2 different teams. He hit 154 as a Met, 100 with the A's, 94 with the Cubs, and 77 with the Giants. So yeah, he was not far away from doing it with 4 different teams. You think there's some White Sox fans who have no idea Paul Konerko actually played for 2 other teams?
Yes.
Probably a lot. Started as a Dodger. 26 games with the Reds.
Yeah, and, he struggled early on, but once he got over here, he kind of took off. It's funny, I have vague memories of people talking about him when he was in Cincinnati, going, no, this guy, I don't know if he's going to pan out. Panned out.
He hit 214 over 81 games in the National League before coming to the Sox. Ground ball, Castro to Rizzo for the 3rd and final out of the inning. So Villanueva works around the leadoff single. It's still 8-3 White Sox. photo. Tweet your photo to #NorthsideFanPhoto, and we might show it in an upcoming telecast brought to you by AT&T. Jake Petrichka.
Looks like Petrichka, pronounced Petrichka. And he's featuring a 1.93 ERA for 12 appearances. Second round pick in June of 2010. 16 games with the big club last year. Steady progress through their minor league system. Now solidifying a role in the bullpen. Solid tonight. Gave up 3 runs on 4 hits, struck out 8, had the Cub hitters off balance most of the night. The combination of the good changeup and then the elevated fastball keeping them off balance.
Minimum requirement of a quality start, 6 innings, 3 runs. John Axford with a scoreless 9th tonight. Got a much needed win for him after giving up game-losing home runs. Sunday and Monday, 4-3, Cleveland beat Minnesota on a Mike Aviles game-ending single in the night. Gives over the Twins. That ball is caught. Picked clean by Ramirez.
Now let's see, sinking line drive, and Ramirez has only made the 1 error all year. He's played every inning of every game. He got it. Hang with him for Valbuena. Good swing.
Well, the Tigers are going to lose again. 3-2. They beat the Astros. They've now won 8 in a row. They will lose again, but they haven't for a while. Porcello the win, Nathan the save.
Miguel Cabrera hit a home run today, but he really hasn't been Miguel Cabrera for much of this year. He's kind of struggled a little bit, so they've done a lot of winning without him being at the top of his game. Doesn't bode well for the rest of the AL Central.
Red Sox swept the Reds in their 2-game interleague set. 4-3 the final at Fenway. They rallied in the 8th. Reds lost the opener of that series 4-3 in 12. Skipped to Beckham for the out. Here's Kalish with 2 gone.
You mentioned the Burley win tonight over the Phillies. It was Cliff Lee, so maybe it's just a bad night for Arkansans. Cliff Lee could be. Gave up 6 tonight. We were wondering last night how quickly that game would be played with those 2 guys pitching. It was 2 hours and 23 minutes. Well, what's average time of game now? 3-0 something, right?
I think it's
3 hours.
It's pretty high this year. Two homers for Adam Jones tonight in the Orioles' 4-3 win at Tampa Bay. David DeJesus with a homer for the Rays. Kalish strikes out swinging, and the Cubs go quietly in the 7th. We'll stretch here on the south side. It's 8-3 Sox.
The Chicago Cubs baseball summer camps offer children ages 5 to 13 of all abilities the ultimate major league experience for 6 one-week sessions in various Chicago area locations. Join fellow teammates for a week of top-notch baseball instruction, exclusive access, and unforgettable moments. Visit Cubs.com/camps to sign your future Cub up today. Summertime, you can feel it in the air.
Should be really warm tomorrow night. And then we go to Atlanta. Dow will have to break out the jackets this weekend.
No, I keep the hat. It's going to be warm.
Those 3 dots under that double in the 5th. That means 3 RBIs for Konerko. Seeing Villanueva.
Straight change from Carlos.
Adam Wainwright pitching in front of a lot of family and friends with a 7-1 win over the Braves. He went 8 innings. Peter Borges hit his first homer as a Cardinal in that one.
That means
13 times the Braves have scored 0 or 1 run.
Wow. Miami Marlins are now in first place in the NL East.
Wow.
Well, I guess they're tied with the Nationals. The Nationals won today too.
That means the Braves will go into the weekend series against the Cubs, having lost, I think it's 8 out of 9.
I seem to recall a similar story last year. Going in there, they were really struggling, scoring runs.
Kalis has it go by him. I think he lost it in the lights. And Konerko has his second double.
Not much going right for the Cubs here tonight. Like it'd be an easy play for Kalish. It becomes less easy when you can't see it. And he's fighting the lights trying to find it.
Up some huge career numbers. Paul Konerko. Sierra, runner at second, no outs. Well, unless the Cubs can make a furious late inning comeback against this suddenly hot White Sox bullpen. Be up to Jake Arrieta tomorrow to get Cubs righted. The second start facing an interesting guy, Scott Carroll. He's come up and made a couple of really good starts for the White Sox.
Yeah.
Long run in the minors.
Yeah, not a kid. He's, I believe, 29 years of age. Pressed into duty, and he has responded. Been a good story, albeit a brief one.
Eight seasons in the minor leagues for Carroll, starting with the Reds. Swung on and missed, strike three.
Carlos has posted better numbers as a reliever. He's a guy who's moved from the rotation to the bullpen throughout his career. That classic swingman role. Numbers as a reliever have been better. Brings a starting pitcher's repertoire to the relief role, and the key for him is his ability to command those pitches. Even if he's pitching an inning at a time, he typically can throw all of his pitches and locate well with them. As a starter, he runs into trouble typically second and then third time through the batting order after they've gotten a feel for what he's trying to do out there. He doesn't have the plus velocity.
Ahead of Simeon, 0-2. Derek Jeter has just homered for the first time what will be his final season in Anaheim. Yankees lead 6-0 in that one.
All right. Trivia question for you. Since we're in trivia mode. There are 4 active players who lead the Major League franchise in all-time hits. 4 active players. They are not all necessarily with the franchise team.
There are 4 players who lead a franchise.
Yeah. The all-time hit leaders.
Jeter.
Yes.
One of 4. Okay.
Ichiro, correct. Your pencil and paper out at home, you'll be graded.
Good one. Got to be a Ray.
You are correct.
Longoria?
No, sir. The Ray is no longer a Ray.
Yeah, okay. All right.
The 4th one is currently with the team that he is the franchise record holder.
Okay.
My source for this is the Chicago Tribune. You know how they do that quick hits thing up on when they do the standings, and this was a couple weeks ago.
Are we considering the Nationals 05 or
no franchise?
Okay. This is a tough one. A 1-2 pitch fouled off. Carl Crawford.
Carl Crawford is correct.
On Walsh, our producer. Maybe not.
Well, you work together on it because you got the Rays and then John.
And the other guy is with his current.
Yes. He is the face of that franchise.
Oh. Okay. Joe Mauer.
No, sir.
Oh. Okay. I threw my pen down.
You did. You said it with conviction. I like it.
It just popped into my head.
Let me know if you want a hint.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Yeah. David Wright.
Yes, sir. Very good. Peter Wright, Ichiro, and Carl Crawford. David Wright passing Ed Kranepool.
Very nice. I like that one. Simeon walks. Loud middle innings in this one. The White Sox with 7 combined in the 4th and 5th to break it open. Pop up.
An interesting chat with Ricky Renteria before the ball game today. You asked him about the fact that he's bilingual and how does he talk to his players, how often does he use English and Spanish and what settings. Interesting. He says when he's talking to an individual, he'll speak their language, and when he's talking to a group, he'll say it in English, also say it in Spanish. I'm guessing Todd Woodring, the home plate umpire, probably heard a little of both tonight.
Yeah, he says that there are times when he mixes Spanish with English. Big swing and a miss by Beckham. Said his father spoke English to him when Ricky was young, and he said his mother tried, but
kids would give her grief if you misspoke,
Right, so she generally stuck with Spanish. Yeah. It's 0-1. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Oh, I got a good quote for you. David O'Brien, who covers the Braves from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, quoting Chris Johnson after the Braves lost to the Cardinals tonight. I like this. There's a 1-1. Quote, "It's tough when you got a little momentum going last night and then you run into a brick wall in that guy," talking about Adam Wainwright. So he encapsulated all about momentum and the next day's starting pitcher.
Right, that there is no momentum. He's got to face Adam Wainwright.
Yeah, we had momentum and then we faced him. What happened?
And then we ran into no momentum. Yeah, it's really interesting. Try to put all these characteristics into the game. I heard Connor Gillespie, who was just called up, activated today off the disabled list. I heard a bit of an interview that he did, and he talked about all the character guys they have on their club, and that's what helps you win. And well, I guess to a degree, but I think that's overplayed. It's overstated, I think. The whole idea of character guys and chemistry and leadership. Really mostly about having good players.
Well, and a lot of those characteristics are kind of given retroactively. The player's good, and then you say he's got all those other skills, which he may in certain cases.
You'd rather have good guys than bad guys, no doubt about that.
8-3 White Sox. May 17th, the Cubs take on the Brewers at 1:20 in the first 10,000 in attendance. Get a Cubs umbrella. Compliments of Morton Salt. Tickets are still available, so visit Cubs.com today.
Music pretty much died after the Bonifacio double in the fifth. Cubs had two in. Bonifacio at second, Kalish at third. Dang struck out Lake and Rizzo to finish the fifth, which led to the Renteria ejection. Cubs haven't had a base runner since. Sox came up in the bottom half of the inning, put a 4 spot on the board.
Wesley Wright, a left-hander up.
Arrieta tomorrow against Carroll. Jason Hamill would be up next. That'd be Atlanta probables.
Friday in Atlanta. Find it. Lifted in the air to right. There's Sierra standing by. The Braves have Julio Teheran. 2-2 with a 180. He'll face Hamill Friday night. Jeff Samardzija will go against Irvin Santana Saturday night. He's coming back from a minor thumb injury, was skipped last night. And then on Sunday, Edwin Jackson and left-hander Alex Wood, who has the highest of the 3 Braves probables, ERA, 3.
Yeah, their pitching's been unbelievably good.
So while Rizzo and Castro grabbed a lot of headlines here early on, and going into the season, a lot of people wondered how they would respond to last year. Lake strikes out. 2 guys we're reading a lot more about on the blogs and hearing from Cub fans are Junior Lake and Mike Alt. And I get asked a lot, you know, what are your thoughts on these 2 guys? How do you project them? And the answer I give is I don't know yet.
Yeah,
I think we're still learning.
Yeah, well, you know, Junior clearly is very, very raw. You know, and he's going through a patch here. Strikeout rate is way too high. So if he's going to be a successful big league hitter, he's going to have to fix that. He's got power, he's got speed. There's a lot of things to like about him. So the challenge is, you know, if he continues to swing and miss as much as he is, you know, you worry about his approach mentally. Cubs have not said anything about sending him down or Mike Old through his early season struggles. You know, I think that's what you monitor. How's this kid responding to the struggles? Is it beating him up? Is it getting to the point where the frustration level is so high that he might be better off out of the pressure cooker of the big leagues, back down in the minor leagues where he can play every day and regain some confidence? Or do you feel like, well, you know, this is a year where it's all about rebuilding anyway and seeing what you've got? Keep running him out there. Try to put him in positions where he has a chance to succeed, gain some confidence, learn. You know, it's all about learning. You got to figure out, you know, how these pitchers are going to attack you, when to be patient, when to be aggressive. I think there has to be, for Junior, a willingness at some point to change his approach a little bit, to, you know, cut down on the swing some. It's a lot, boy. It's a lot to put on a young guy's plate.
Well, that's the other thing is he goes 3 for 3 with the big home run Saturday against the Cardinals, and Cub Nation up in arms that he didn't start Sunday night. And I think there are just times you got to just take a break, take a breath. Juniors have really struggled since. And if you go 3 for 3 one night and you just get put back in the lineup the next night, it doesn't mean you're going to go 4 for 4 necessarily. So I think Ricky's really trying to find the right spots to get them in, and he's played Lake and Alt a lot more here recently. But if they struggle, then fans go, hey, why are they playing every day? It's tough. 8-3 White Sox.
Hey, follow the Cubs with MLB.com at bat for your iPhone, iPad, Android, BlackBerry 10, or Windows Phone 8. Get score, stats, highlights, live audio, and more. Text at bat to 31826 or visit Cubs.com for details. Don't leave home without it. Wesley Wright, for the 12th time, he's got an ERA of 1.80. Throwing the ball really well.
Tap foul by Diaz. Close, didn't get the call. 1-2.
You know what Rizzo's thinking down there at first base. See it in the eyes. You know, we talk a lot about young players having to get to the big leagues and settle in. Woodring's a young umpire. He hasn't been here very long. Figured there'd be some tough adjustments to make.
Yeah, it can't feel good to get yelled at.
No. Go back and look at video of the game and say, I wasn't very consistent. I kind of sometimes I gave it, sometimes I didn't out there. I can see their point. I mean,
Castillo has the painted fingernails to help the pitcher see the signs. Blowing in.
Abreu doubled his first 2 times up and then singled in the 5th, and I think the single may have been more impressive than the doubles because the pitch was in on him. He was able to pull his hands in and get enough of the barrel of the ball to muscle it into left. It's a pretty impressive piece of hitting. Knew what he wanted to throw, executed it, and got the swing and miss. Off the changeup, fastball in, the slider, and came with a sweeping curveball.
Abreu, the first White Sox in franchise history to wear number 79. There has been one player in franchise history who has worn a number higher than Abreu's. Can you name it? Since we're doing trivia.
Is there an angle here?
Well, I mean, he was not here very long. Manny. 24 games in 2010 were 99. That'll be backhanded. A strong throw to first for the out.
Manny, I don't remember Manny here.
Yeah.
What year was that?
2010. 24 games. Got traded here from the Dodgers. Picked up off waivers. Yeah, those are always fun. Down the road, you go, okay, name all the teams Manny Ramirez played for. You go, oh, Cleveland, Boston, Dodgers. And you go, well, what about the White Sox and the Rays? Final 5 games of his career in 2011. -1 with Viciedo. I wonder what the most common baseball uniform number in terms of the number of players to wear it in baseball history would be. Would it just be 1? First number? Can't be 1. And then considering that a lot of numbers in the single digits have been retired over the years, so put out of circulation. You take that into consideration. Somebody's got to know.
Somebody knows. You know, originally there were no numbers on the uniforms. And then when they first started putting numbers on the uniforms, they coincided with where you were in the batting right.
That's why Ruth was 3.
Derek 4. I don't know how long that lasted.
Called strike 3, and the inning is over as Wright goes 1-2-3, and we'll go to the 9th. It's 8-3 White Sox.
Tonight after the game, stick around for Sportsnet Central, presented by GMC. Of Sox post-game sound and reaction. Check in with the Blackhawks in the Wild on an off day. Don't miss Sportsnet Central tonight after Cubs post-game live only on Comcast Sportsnet.
Big right-hander Michael Cueto here in the 9th.
by him with the Cardinals last year. This year, 2.45 ERA in 11 ball games. Pitched around a lot of traffic. 9 hits, 11 walks.
6'3", 250.
Big, hard, chunking right-hander. Averages 97 miles an hour to fastball.
Major League debut in 2011 from the Dominican Republic. And the pitch, 3-0.
Not in that bat you relish in an 8-3 ball game when the guy throws that hard, who's known for throwing it where he wants to.
Oh. Ball 4. Cubs invite you to take advantage of free remote parking and shuttle services on night and weekend home games. A remote parking lot is located at 3900 North Rockwell. For details, visit Cubs.com. Have to buy that lot. It's not too far from the ballpark. A nice option for night and weekend games. Scheduled to pitch Friday night. He's just getting his work in. Ball popped up into shallow left center. What a catch. And Castro. No. That can't happen. Starlin. Double play. I mean, that's a great catch by Ramirez, but down 5, you just cannot have that happen.
Well, and the way Ramirez was pursuing it kind of emboldened Castro. I think the longer this play developed, the more Castro thought the ball was going to drop in, but he went too far. You know, you go a third of the way there, and you're probably still going to be able to beat the force play at second if the ball drops. He just drifted too far from shore and ends up getting doubled off.
Here's Alt with 2 outs and a strike. Yeah, you understand what he was doing there, because you're right. He's thinking, well, that ball drops. I've got to get to second base.
Yeah, but he just kind of. I think what happens, the ball's in the air while you just kind of keep drifting with the ball instead of getting to a point just stopping or just. I don't know where that magic spot is, but clearly he went too far.
Swing and a miss. 98 from Plato to get Alt, and the White Sox have won the first 3 this week against the Cubs. Overall, a 4-game winning streak for them. The Cubs have dropped 4 in a row now. Lost their manager in the 5th. Ejected after standing up for his starting pitcher and his first baseman. And the Cubs will have to win tomorrow night to avoid a season series sweep.
Yeah, we talk a lot about team wins where everything goes well. I guess you could say this was a team loss. All phases of the game, the Cubs scuffling here. Travis Wood did not have his best start for sure. The Cub hitters could not really get a whole lot going on against John Danks. Frustrating night in that visitor's dugout.
Time now for